All right, let's jump right in. We are about to unpack the personal playbook from Young, the CEO of Opus Clip, who, by the way, built one of the fastest-growing AI companies on the planet. He's laying out his exact strategy for how he would build a profitable AI startup from zero in just 30 days, starting today. And believe me, the rules of the game have totally changed.
So first, let's just talk about the numbers, because they're pretty insane. In a little over 2 years, Opus Clip soared to a valuation of $215 million. So you know this isn't just some theory, right? This is a playbook that's been forged in massive, real-world success.
And it's not just about the money. We're talking about attracting over 15 million users in that same incredibly short time frame. This is not some slow and steady kind of growth. No, this was a straight-up explosion. And the strategy that lit that fuse is exactly what we're breaking down right now.
So, that brings us to the big question, the one this whole explainer is built around. When the CEO, Young, was asked this point blank, his answer basically became a masterclass for any founder trying to make it in the AI space. So, how would he do it? Let's get into his step-by-step plan.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. Not with some cool tech, not with a fancy algorithm, but with a real, genuinely painful problem. This is the bedrock of the entire playbook, and it's the one step that so many people get completely wrong.
Now, this is where things get really interesting, and honestly a little counterintuitive. Before building the actual Opus Clip product, Young and his team didn't write a single line of code for a user interface. You know what they did? They manually created video clips using different AI tools behind the scenes and then just emailed the final product to potential customers. They actually engineered the result first, just to see if anyone would even care.
So here's how that actually went down. First, they manually made and emailed those clips. The result? Get this, over 60% of the creators they sent them to wrote back saying things like, "Wow, I love this. How do I get it?" That is a huge, huge signal. It was only then that they built a super simple Discord bot. Still no website, no slick UI, nothing. And you know how they knew they'd really found product market fit? When people started complaining that their daily usage limits were too low. People were literally desperate for more.
And hey, quick pause. If this playbook is already giving you some ideas, just take a half second to hit that like button and subscribe. We break down awesome playbooks just like this one every single week, and it's really the best way to make sure you don't miss out on the next one.
This whole validation process leads us straight into the next core mindset shift. Young is so adamant about this. You are not here to build a cool tech demo. You are here to build a business that solves a painful job to be done. This slide just lays it out perfectly. A demo gets you a lot of wows and, oh, that's awesome. But a real business gets you questions like, okay, so what are your pricing tiers? A real business replaces a tedious, manual, human workflow. Think about it. If people aren't already trying to solve this problem, maybe by hiring agencies or freelancers or using some clunky software, you might just have a cool demo on your hands, not a real company. Okay, so the AI landscape today is a completely different world than it was even a couple of years ago. The opportunities are massive for sure, but the traps are bigger and way more sneaky. Young points out some critical pitfalls that new founders have to avoid at all costs.
You've really got to watch out for two major traps. First, whatever you do, don't just build a single feature that a huge company like Zoom or Google can just easily add to their platform. You'll get absolutely crushed. Second, the days of just creating a simple wrapper around an API with a few clever prompts, yeah, those are pretty much over. The big AI models are getting so good, so fast, that your little wrapper is going to be obsolete with their very next update. You have to own the entire end-to-end workflow yourself.
You know, tactics are one thing, but Young really emphasizes that without the right mindset, none of it even matters. It really all comes down to a few core, non-negotiable traits that you just have to have.
It pretty much boils down to these two things. First, passion. But, and this is a really interesting twist, not a passion for one specific thing like video clipping. He's talking about a deeper passion for being a builder, for being a problem solver, a game changer. And second, radical discipline. He compares it to world-class athletes like Ronaldo and LeBron, who built this insane level of discipline in their early 20s. It's about how you plan your day, how you work, how you take care of your health, every single day.
I absolutely love this quote. It just perfectly shuts down that fear that AI is going to make everyone's work average. Young's point is that even when a tool becomes available to everyone, like a car, the real experts, the Formula One drivers, they will always stand out.
AI is there to handle the dirty work, which frees up the best people to focus on what really matters, like unique strategy and storytelling. All right, so let's put this all together. Let's make it a truly actionable 30-day plan. If you were starting your AI company from scratch today, this is your roadmap. So here it is. For the first 2 to 3 weeks, you are doing pure research. No coding, no building. You are just becoming obsessed with understanding a very, very specific niche. Then, in just a few days, you engineer that proof of concept, just like they did with the manual clips. And then in that final week, you get it in front of people and you ask the 2 most important questions you can possibly ask. What value does this bring you, and how much would you actually pay for?
But where do you even find an idea that fits this whole model? Well, Young has a simple 3-part test for it. First, go ruthlessly niche. He says not just Chinese restaurants, but the Chanel of Cantonese restaurants. That's specific. Second, pick something boring. Seriously, the cool, flashy ideas are 100 times more competitive. And third, find a niche where people are already paying actual humans, like agencies or freelancers, to do this exact work. That is your golden opportunity for automation.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. Young's entire playbook is built on this idea of finding these boring, niche, human-powered services and then automating them. So my question for you is, what's one that you see in your own life or in your industry? What's some tedious workflow that's just sitting there waiting for its Opus Clip moment? Drop your idea in the comments below. Let's see what we can come up with together.